Welcome back to another episode of Akau TV. We've had a really good week leading into this week. The weather's been really good. My star host here this morning is Women in Charge, who takes place this weekend at Ellerslie. But just to recap on our last week's winners, we had three really good winners, horses that were all purchased or bred by David Ellis. Very grateful that he's buying and breeding such quality animals that Sam and I and the team here at Matamata are able to have here in the stable. Without that, we really wouldn't have the stock we do. And the three winners, obviously Kuali Alpha Russia in the Auckland Breeders' Stakes was just amazing. She really put pay to a really good field, so she's a sort of horse that can certainly go on with it, and really looking forward to seeing where she gets to this preparation. And then two winners on Wednesday, out of Tiarawa, King's English. Just wow, I haven't seen a horse put a field away like that for some time, so it was just really good to see. And the owners have had to be very patient with him. He's been a work in progress, but we're getting there now with him, and hopefully now that he's having the race day experience, the penny will now drop. And then obviously Paravane, she's a filly that we've had a lot of time for. She's just been really immature. She doesn't hold a lot of condition, but the owners have been also very patient, allowing us to turn her out and let her mature. And I'm sure this season they're going to reap the rewards. So we have two meetings in the North Island on Saturday. We have runners at both. We have one runner at Wanganui in race 6, the O'Leary's Fillies Classic at listed level, Maricopa Falls. A filly that was really good first up at Taupo, and she then performed really well at Tauranga on a track that probably didn't suit the back markers, and she got caught flushed wide, but she ran on really well. Very pleased with her work leading into it. We've drawn a nice barrier, should be able to lob into a spot forwarder than what she's used to. And Bruno Quarez, he's very good at getting horses out of the gates. Expect her to run a really good race, and she certainly shouldn't be paying $10. Then we moved to Ellerslie, the second meeting in the North Island, and we've got a really lovely team, and we've got a couple of 2-year-olds. One obviously has raced, and Enchantment was just okay on debut, but look, she's trained on well, trialled well since then. Very pleased. Look, the draw doesn't help us. We'll just have to try and get forward from there. So we'll do our best. We'll leave it up to Vinny. He knows the filly well. He trialled her at Avondale, but very pleased with how her work's been leading into it. And then First Light, a filly that Dave purchased out of the Cracker Yelling sales that we really like. She's out of the Fastnet Rock mare, so Satherbill over Fastnet Rock, probably two of the most successful sires Akau's had. So to have that in the pedigree, it certainly helps. Look, she's very tough. Her trials have been good. We're still not sure where her ceiling is, but her work during the week has been really good, and from a good draw, we're very confident she can run a top 3. Then we move on to this mare, Woman in Charge, our first start for her this coming weekend, and very pleased with her work. She's come in, she's an absolute professional. Can't falter on race day. Look, from barrier 6, we'll try and be a little more positive than what she's probably used to. She's been a filly just to be ridden neutrally out of the barriers, but we'll try and be in the first half of the field with her. She does meet a very strong maiden field, but look, she's got the ability there, and Craig Grill's on is a big bonus. Then we move on to our next stakes runner this weekend here in New Zealand, Towering Vision. He finds himself in a very equal looking race. Honestly cannot fault him since his first up run. He was very good, it was very promising. Seeing him hit the line strongly over the 1400. 1500 still probably a touch short for him at best, but look, he's trained on the right way. He looks terrific. He's drawn a nice soft alley, which will help. Woodoo Pin's a very good barrier rider. I'd love to see him one back, one out, or thereabouts in the running. But as I said, he finds himself in a very winnable race, and I'd expect nothing more than a big run from him. And then Charm Rose, obviously cannot falter this time round, has just been electric. She finds herself in a very strong race on Saturday, so it's going to be very interesting how she does handle herself, but her work's been really good. We've kept her fresh and happy for the 1100. And Hayley Hessman, she's riding incredibly well, obviously rode 3 winners on Wednesday at Tiaraha, and she rides this mare in all her work, so very pleased with that. So she's certainly an each way chance again, and if she gets left alone out in front and can sneak away on them on the corner again, she'll show a big sight all the way down the straight. And then we also have a Sunday meeting here in New Zealand at Otaki, the Wellington Stakes Day. Unfortunately, we don't have a horse in the Wellington Stakes, but we've got 4 really good chances, which starts off with the 2-year-old Kined. really a horse that we're excited to see at the races. He's a horse that's trialled well. He looks terrific. He's by Home Affairs, who I think is the most promising young sire coming through. I just rave about him. He's an outstanding individual to look at himself. And this colt, we brought it to Karaka Sales. He was hidden away at the back, and he just took our eye, and that was the horse that we certainly weren't going to not go home with. And we obviously went to extreme levels to buy him, but he's certainly showing us that potential in his early part of his career. And Craig Gruel's on from a good soft alley, should land there or thereabouts. His trials have been good. Expect a really big run from him. Then we move on to Truth or Dare. Horse is probably not going as well as what he was 18 months ago, but look, his work during the week here in Matamata has been very good. Otaki, just a trip away, might turn him on. Up to the miles, Jonathan Riddell on, very good strong rider, which will help him. We think is going to be the key to his chances. And Liska, he continues to build up well, and now he's a lot fitter. A trip away certainly will help him. Up to the mile was key. From a good soft alley, he should be able to roll along at a forward position, but really pleased with him. He's certainly taken a lot of improvement out of that last start out of Ellerslie, where he was very good. And then in the last we have Kabuji. Unfortunately, the wide draw certainly doesn't help him. So we'll just be in discussions with the owners over the next 24, 48 hours whether he takes his place. But look, he's coming up well. His trials have been good. But as I said, the draw certainly doesn't help his cause first up. So that wraps up our weekend runners, what we were really looking forward to. Just a nice amount of runners in this weekend with a lot of quality. If I was to lean towards the best bet, I think Kennard at Otaki in the 2-year-old race. I think he's going to be a very good horse in time, and he can get the job done for the boys first up.
Welcome to this week's edition of Akau TV, which is extra special for us. We've got Bellatrix Star resuming after a year layoff and injury, and very exciting to have her back at the races. She runs in the Doverton Stakes at Caulfield over 1100, and she's drawn barrier 1, and it's going to be a tough ask. She's got 60 kilos, and first up off a year's break, so we just want to see her go around and show that she's still got that zest for racing and run a nice race. If she ran top 4, we'd be thrilled. If she won, we'd be blown away and thrilled with excitement, but dare to dream. So yeah, we're just thrilled that she's back. Sound order, she looks magnificent. The coat, White and the team have done an amazing job at getting her back. Laura that rides her, so we're thrilled with her. So yeah, she'll kick things off for us, and then 2 other runners. We've got Lyrics and Song in the Twilight Glow Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. She's obviously a really promising filly who won last start for Yulong, and we're thrilled with the way she's going. She jumped out last week in impeccable order, and there's a bit of rain around too, which will also help this girl. There's about 10 mil predicted on the day, so if we can get that and get a soft track, then we'll hopefully see the best of both these girls. But there's a hot favourite in Lyrics and Song's race from the Kira Mar stable, which will be hard to beat, but we think our filly's got plenty of class. Hopefully we can have one of them to get the job done. And then we've got Jenny's Meadow for Tony Ottebro, who's a filly that ran well first up. Second up, she copped a terrible track at Flemington, and conditions were just not well suited for her. So we're hoping third up. She's a bit out of the race on ratings, but we'd love to see her run a big race and get some black type for Tony Ottebro in Victoria. For her, that's the aim, and it'll make her an expensive mare.
And Sunday?
Sunday we head off to Traralgon Cup Day, and so we kick off, funnily enough, Bellatrix's brother, Royal Rendezvous, who's a 3-year-old we've been very patient with, and he won his jump out last time around and finally showed us the ability we've been waiting to see. So he heads there from barrier 5 on Sunday, and yeah, we're a bit up in the air. He's a horse with promise. We just need to see him do it on race day. So we'd love to see him obviously kick off his career and salute, but yeah, he's just a horse that we're still working out where he's at ability wise, but if he can perform similar to his jump out, he should certainly be in the finish. And then we take a horse called Play It Cool, also in the Te Akau Silks. He kicked off over a mile on debut, and Look, he hit the line without rattling home, so we instantly thought that he'd want 2,000, so we got him out to a 1,900 metre maiden at Traralgon. There aren't a lot in the field to be worried about, so we're certainly hoping, albeit a wide draw, he can find a lovely spot and at least show us some staying prowess that we hope and think is there. So if he's running on through the line, we'll be pleased, and we take a filly for Ricky McDonald called Sky Sister, who it's been a little bit frustrating her first 2 starts. We've just been figuring her out, given she came from another stable. So we think third up we've finally got her right. She looks great. Everything at home tells us she's in as good order as we've had. And again, a wide gate, but we're probably going to chance our luck and try and roll forward at Traralgon, which is where you need to be. And if she can settle in the first 4, we think that we'll hopefully see her recapture that winning form that she won at Sandown. And this is much below that. And if she can recapture that form, she'll be hard to beat.
Yes. And we had 2 very close horses race yesterday, get very close.
Yeah, the horses are running really well at the moment, just not a hell of a lot of luck. We had Coco, who also didn't have luck on debut where she should have won. She just got pocketed at an awkward time, and when she got out, she grinded away home and just missed out. If the gap came a bit earlier, she probably would have won, but a filly with plenty of upside. She's quite immature as a 3-year-old currently, and she's owned by Howard and Carol Riley, who are really patient, loyal clients who see the future for her in the autumn. She'll be winning nice races, and certainly think she can get metro races. And then we had Seven Oceans, who settled back in the field, and it was a track yesterday where not many horses finished off from back in the field, and she rattled home. She would have, without a doubt, run the best sort of 6-4, 200 of the day. In what was a pretty strong race for a 3-year-old filly, she rattled home. So she's now showing that promise that we would hope she'd deliver, and we'll continue racing her and hope to get another win on the board for Mark Sowerby, who's been patient with her, and she's knocking on the door, having been beaten by a pretty handy horse there yesterday. So yeah, horses running to form. Hopefully we can get a nice winner on the weekend and continue that hot form.